What happened next? You know what happened next. The Joint Task Force tried to hold things together, but really, what were they gonna do? Cops and firefighters and weekend warriors? The city was falling apart. Too many people were sick. Too many jobs weren't getting done. And then, they lost control of those Sarah facilities and had to wall them off. It was just too much. Me? I got out before they shut the doors to the dark zone. And now, all I want is to go home. You're gonna let me go, right? You said you were gonna let me go.
Mr. Tran, this is Charles Bliss calling. I just wanted to let you know that I got your message and I looked at your storyboard, and that your ad is the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen. And that includes the time I got trapped marching behind 16 elephants in a parade. You show no understanding of what my company is, what my people do, or what sort of high-character individuals we're looking to recruit. So, you have 1 week to do better, or I'll fire you and we'll do better. Do I make myself understood? Bliss out.
The 8th was when somebody finally said smallpox. Word came down that we were supposed to inoculate healthy patients with smallpox vaccine, even though our supplies were old and nobody knew if it would even work. The thing was, it didn't. People kept getting sick and coming in, and we just didn't have the room. We did what we could to make people comfortable, but we just couldn't stop it. We couldn't even slow it down.
Lieutenant Colonel Bliss, sir. First, let me apologize for the previous effort we sent you. That was the work of a junior associate who has, of course, since been let go. Well, we've assigned all of our senior staff to your project, and I think you'll be very pleased with the revisions. It's a very simple concept. Just you, talking about your service and the idea of loyalty and duty. And I think we can bring it in at well under your budget, so call me back and let me know.
Our initial orders were to liaise with Sarah and provide support, build aid stations, and help them set up those field hospitals. City policing we left to the civil authorities, so they could see we were getting stretched pretty thin. But we built structures. We safeguarded supply drops, we handed out blankets and water bottles, and we held the line on the quarantine. Nobody was getting off the island, not if we could help it. Had to shoot a few people who tried. I'm not proud of that. Early days, there was talk of hooking up with that PMC someone paid to guard their offices on Wall Street. Last Man Battalion, they were called. Complete bunch of shitheads. If they played ball, maybe things wouldn't have gotten so bad. But their CO, this Bliss asshole, he decides they're not working with nobody. So suddenly we got a war going with those guys while the disease is out of control. Not enough we got a superbug trying to kill us. Goddamn Merc's gotta try it too.
Hi, Rick. It's Charles. I got your message regarding the situation in New York, and I think you're absolutely right. Things are going to get out of hand faster than the government realizes. They're going to lose control before they've even signed the deployment orders. If you ask me, the only thing that's going to work is to impose absolute authority on the population. People are scared and angry, and that's when they'll act stupid and risk the lives of others. I've seen it too many times. Now, you want to shut those instincts down and enforce zero tolerance. Anything beyond that is not going to produce results. And in the long run, that will cost you a lot more than hiring my people.
This is the fastest anyone's ever gotten a response out of Dr. Katz's place, let me tell you. The sign-in forms alone. Nah, never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, honey. Do you hear that? That's your daughter. You've become a father. A healthy baby girl. Little Josephine. I wish you could see her. She looks just like you. You both got the same little frown. I miss you, baby. I wish you were here to share this. But we'll be waiting for you when you get back. Love you. Love you more than anything.
Okay. First of all, I owe myself an apology. Emotional outbursts are unacceptable, certainly unprofessional, no matter how provoked. So, I apologize. I forgive myself. I move forward. Good. Now the question of the moment, this betrayal, this changes things. Things have changed. This is clear. We have been lied to. We are sent to do a job. Things get tough. Suddenly, we're not allowed to do it. Rules are broken. Values discarded. A city abandoned. This is the truth. This is reality. The man behind the curtain. I have to tell the others.
What happened on that rooftop? What you did, it's impossible.
I know.
It changes everything.
I know.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. We'll see.
This is your final warning. Comply or you will be forcefully removed. You have no right to do this. Shoot her!
No!
Son of a bitch! Clear!
This is Specialist Williams requesting immediate medevac. Second floor. We have a man down. I repeat, Ramirez is down and not responding.
The ATF, they were trying, doing their best during all this. Firemen, cops, crossing guards, you name it. All of them trying to keep things running when the water stops flowing and the lights start going out. And all you got is a badge and a promise that things are gonna get better. People start getting crazy in the streets, stealing food, taking it from their neighbors. What are you gonna do? After a while, they linked us up with them and called us all JTF. But it still wasn't enough. But that's all besides the point. Because the real problem was those treatment centers. They failed. Everybody died. The patients, the doctors, the nurses. The poor sons of bitches dumping bodies into the mass graves they had to dig in Central Park. Everyone. People dying on the inside, people shooting at us on the outside. When they finally told us to pull out, it was a blessing. Except now, all that's behind barbed wire. Yeah. That's where your dark zone came from. And the things I've seen, I don't care how much you're offering. I'm never going back in.
Who are these people? According to Directive 51, they're sleeper agents recruited from the civilian population to be activated only when the shit well and truly hits the fan, which, if you ask me, describes things pretty good. They're not military, they're not SEALs, they're not secret agents, they're people, coming from the people to help the people. They've been trained to maintain order and public safety in domestic environments under extreme circumstances, so people like us are able to do what we do best.
This is Eva Acosta, urban spelunker extraordinaire. New York has been cordoned off by the government, and I am in the most exclusive club in the world, Manhattan. Thomas and Blanca got their asses cut by the JTF. Not me. But then they don't have my mad parkour skills. I'm exploring the city and reporting what I see, taking nothing but photos and leaving nothing but footprints, and maybe the occasional audio recording, so people know where I've been and the incredible things I've seen here. The adventure begins.
You're sure this place is empty?
We've scoped it out. If we're gonna do this, we need to do it now, before someone else beats us to it.
In and out before sunrise. Just like we planned.
Just like we planned.
You can see the results of relying on the Joint Task Force right here in the middle of Manhattan. That's what they're calling the Dark Zone. That's a melodramatic way of saying it's a region of complete lawlessness. No surveillance and total lack of ability to enforce control. That is something you cannot have on your watch.
Sir, I thought the purpose was to evacuate.
And how did that work out? Sure, they got the people out, but what did they let back in? And all the equipment and hardware they left behind? We're talking amateurs here, in charge of public safety in one of the biggest cities in the country.
Yes, sir.
The point is, this just proves that our operations are more efficient. Methodical expansion, civilian processing, enhanced interrogation. We're working at twice the efficiency with half the manpower. The fact that the JTF failed miserably with the Dark Zone is the same reason this city needs the Last Man Battalion.
Eva Acosta, Urban Spelunker. Day 3. Yesterday some asshole shot at me. Soldiers. National Guard, maybe. I don't know who they thought I was. Anyway, I'm in Midtown today, not far from the Empire State Building, in front of Abel's department store. My papi used to bring me here when I was little to watch the Thanksgiving Day parade. There's a parade today, but I don't like the looks of it. Guys wearing gas masks and big tanks on their back are leading a group of people into a circle. Some of them are crying. I'm afraid to get any closer because I don't know what they're doing. Maybe I should take some pictures. Oh my God. They're burning them. Oh my God.
I've had an idea, and it's a good one. Let's think about the virus. What do we know? That it's similar to smallpox. Not smallpox, but similar. Which means it's a designated variation. Smallpox is the base on which a designer made alterations. Now, live smallpox exists in only 2 places, DCD and Russia. The base virus had to come from one of them. DCD? I would have heard if their security had been breached. So, Russia. Now let's think about the designer. Are there virologists with connections to both New York and Russia? In fact, there are 2. One's Russian, one's American. A little research tells me both were in New York on Black Friday. Thank you, Shade Tech.
What does it say? It says a lot of things, but the part that matters is this. Certain people are now authorized to do whatever the hell it takes to clean up the big messes. Nuclear, biological, chemical attacks, pandemics, giant monsters, that sort of thing. As you might have guessed, their current situation qualifies. They're called the Division, and they're being activated as we speak. How do you know who they are? Look for those damn orange circles. You see the glow, then you'll know.
David, I really don't think this is a good idea.
How do I know I can't if I don't try? Vicky, all the evidence points to this.
This is literally crazy. What if you... David!
me rethink things a little. Did some more digging into our two virologists, specifically their work. That's where things got interesting. Now, if I'm reading Chernenko's abstracts right, there was no need to steal the smallpox, not when it had already been decoded and digitalized and set up to be tucked into an email like any other attachment. And that digital genome was just sitting there, waiting for someone with the right know-how and the right equipment and the right imagination to make it live. This version of New York is just a start. The possibilities are endless. Is there a limit to what can be done? Let's find out.
Jesus Christ!
Hey Charles, this is Nancy again. I've reviewed your mission proposal, and I think it looks solid. I believe the board of directors will have no problem approving it. The only thing that stands out, perhaps, is the lack of support on Wall Street, but I think we all understand that under the circumstances, it's best to prioritize our primary assets in Midtown. I'm sure our foreign investors will be delighted to hear that you're taking them into account as well. Anyway, the board will be reviewing the plan in 2 hours or so. Just thought I'd send you a heads up. Talk to you soon.
Think about it, Vicky. I survived the car crash. I survived the fire at Mike's place. I survived the dog flu. What if it wasn't because I'm lucky, but because they couldn't hurt me at all?
Come on, David. What do you think you are? Some kind of Superman?
No, I can't fly. Or maybe I can.
Readings indicate an echo nearby.
Three, two, one. Silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright. Round young virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Remember when we were back in the sandbox? Gosh, yes. I had hair back then, and you had everything figured out. Not much has changed there. You've always been good at leading soldiers. Leading them into battle, leading them to join up with a new PMC. They're always willing to follow. Well, I've got some good speechwriters. Knock it off, Charles. You write your own crap, and you always have. And they'll always follow you. They'd follow you to the gates of hell if you asked. You've done a hell of a job here, Charles. Hey, I'm not done yet. The best is yet to come.
Progress report. It looks like the Last Man Battalion's the best bet, at least in the short term. I've set up a line of communication with Lieutenant Colonel Charles Bliss, and it's proving mutually beneficial. There's a certain overlap of viewpoints there, and some shared ambition. He's a man who has a vision for this godforsaken rock, one that I can work with. We've already collaborated on one operation in Brooklyn, but taking down a helicopter is just a first step. Let's see how far this can go.